On today's episode of the Real Recovery Podcast, episode number 78, we are honored to welcome Amber Brison. Amber opens her heart to share the raw realities of growing up in chaos, the trauma that shaped her early years, and the path that led her into addiction. In this first part of her powerful two-part story, Amber reflects on the cycles of abuse, the pain of losing her identity, and the destructive choices that followed. Yet within her story, there is a thread of resilience, honesty, and a longing for something better. Join us as we walk with Amber through the beginning of her journey, a testimony that reminds us recovery starts by speaking the truth, no matter how painful it may be.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
Of recovery, real recovery.
Hi, Amber. Welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast.
Hello.
That's Julie, and this is Peter. And welcome. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
I'm actually really excited. We have the First Lady of Oregon Recovers.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
right.
everyone. The First Lady.
That's right.
I always say, and probably because I'm a woman, right? Behind every good man is a strong woman. And I'm excited to hear your story. We hear Bo, we've known Bo for a while. And let me tell you, Bo's been good to us. We had him on before he was executive director,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And there's some people you just connect with right away. And
Yeah.
he's my bro, like from the get-go. Yes. Like I just related so much. And our stories are similar but different, So I'm really grateful to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I know Bo's been on the show once or twice, right? Yeah. And, the first day he came home after the show, he's like, wow, I just love them so much. They are just amazing. And like anytime that you two are at an event, so always like the Real Recovery Podcast is going to be there.
Yeah. Well, and we have pictures of you. I think there was one time, I think we were at 4D.
Yeah.
And you were finally there with him. And he introduced us to you and we got a picture. And I was like, I took the picture, but I was like, wow. Yeah. And it kind of just really kind of put it all together for
There's
me.
a good energy whenever we're together. And at every event we go to, we feel there's a good energy. It's just the recovery community in itself. It's so positive and so hopeful. And so I love it. I love every chance we get to be a part of things.
Yeah, there is such an incredible feeling about being in a room filled with your people, right?
And there's so much hope.
Yeah, there's so much hope.
Yeah.
Speaking of hope, I want to hear your story
Yes.
that will inspire someone out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe take that next step.
Yeah. Before today, I was kind of thinking about like, where do I even start? Because my story there's a lot in my story, and I want to make sure that what I share can help the next recovering individual and that I can hopefully inspire someone else.
Yeah. No doubt you will, because every story we've had on our podcast.
I was going to say that. We've had so many different ones and different sometimes foundations, but every story, and trust me, has been inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really has. Otherwise, I don't know, just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start it off with, what was your childhood like, and how did you get from A to B?
Yeah. So my childhood, from the outside looking in, was a white picket fence. But, at a very, very young age, I was conditioned to view the world as a very unsafe and scary place. There was a lot of trauma that happened, a lot of abuse, not by my mom. My mom did an amazing job raising me and my sister, who is 6 years younger than me. But, the trauma and the abuse was inevitable. And that led me into a world that was scary. It was confusing to me. And I remember that as a very, very young child. At the age of 6, that's probably one of my first memories, is just like walking into school and just feeling so different than everyone else. I felt like no one understood me and no one heard me. I didn't know who I was. And as the years progressed, it was even more confusing because I did not know how to express my emotions. Emotions were only happy emotions that I was taught. So sad emotions were not allowed. Yes, they weren't allowed. And that's just a protective layer that my mom and my dad, who is my stepdad, and he came into our lives when I was about 8, and he and my mom did a phenomenal job. He took me and my sister in as his own. He treated us like his own. And I was surrounded by a very, very religious home. So there was a lot of rules, lots of rules, lots of expectations, and a lot of confusion. That's the word that keeps on coming to my mind, is just lots of confusion for little Amber, and once I got into my early teen years, I was still so lost, and there was some severe anxiety, severe social anxiety, some severe depression that I did not know how to identify.
Well, especially at such a young age.
Yeah. I didn't know why I felt the way I felt. And I felt like I was living outside my body and viewing the world from up top.
I can get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt that way before.
Yeah. And you don't really realize it until, I didn't really realize it until, my recovery, but I'll get into that in a little bit. My childhood was confusing and loving. Confusing and loving. Yeah. I went to private school my whole life. I was taught that. Yeah, you too?
Catholic school.
Okay. Me was a Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
When you're talking about rules, you're talking about serious rules.
Very serious rules.
I just didn't like the plaid skirt. That was
See, we did not wear uniforms.
I wore a uniform.
But we had very strict clothing regulations.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Me too.
Yes. Yeah. And so it was, taught at a very young age that, we don't show any parts of our body, and like we need to hide as much as we can because it's not okay to do that. I was taught a lot at a very young age that, looking back now, I'm like, holy moly, like this is insane that I did not like.
No wonder why you were so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was taught that if I sinned, I would go to hell. And it was very black and white. It was us as Seventh-day Adventists were good people and everyone else was bad. That's what I took out of it.
Wow.
Yes. So, but it wasn't consistent outside the house. It wasn't consistent inside the house. So it gave me a very confused outlook on what you really do.
Yeah.
What do you do? What does that mean that we follow these rules and outside the house, but inside the house, it's
like double standards almost.
Yes. Yeah.
I can see how that would be so confusing.
Yeah. It was very confusing. And then past traumas, wasn't talked about. It was just swept under the rug. So that was, the sadness and the negative feelings, I'll call them, weren't talked about at all. Mm-hmm. So just put on a smile.
I was not allowed to cry. So I understand.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, don't you start crying.
Yeah. When I would start crying, I would be told to go to my room and cry into my pillow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But these are generational things,
Mm-hmm.
Very, very generational. When I look at my grandparents, I see the same thing. And what's beautiful about now is that I get to break those generational beliefs.
Be authentic.
Yeah. Yes. So that's a little bit about my childhood. And, when I got into, I remember freshman year in high school, I was like, gosh, I was so scared. I mean, I was always scared going to school because I didn't know how to act. I didn't know because it was one way inside my house and one way outside my house. But I did know that I went to a Seventh-day Adventist school and we followed the rules. But I was always drawn to those that weren't following the rules. Always. Yeah. Oh, you too. I'm finding more and more similarities.
I actually didn't get in any trouble in school. I was good. I never did a drug in high school.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When I went, but yeah, I was worried about getting in trouble.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't care. I was trying to find a release, but I didn't know I was trying to find that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was drawn to the kids that were smoking weed or drinking, and I quickly attached myself to them. And the first time I ever drank, I blacked out. And I was like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. I didn't know, but I felt peace because it took away all the pain and the hurt and the anxiety that I was experiencing all the time.
That's what so many people say that drank, it made them that drink or whatever.
Yeah.
It made them feel comfortable and accepted.
Totally.
And, yeah.
Yeah. I was, as a child, I really didn't have the opportunity to find out who I was or who I wanted to be. Cause I was just in the shell and I was so scared. And so when I found alcohol, nothing else mattered. I immediately started skipping school and I was really awful to my mom and dad. I was mean. I was really, really awful as a kid, as a teenager. I really was. And I realize that now, but at the time I did not realize that. Yeah. So I continued to just drink and smoke weed, and everything just continued to get more prominent as far as what my priorities were. And I would start sneaking in cases of beer into my room and to drink alone in my room.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Yeah. I started doing that when I was 16. Yeah. 16 is when I started sneaking in booze because I needed something. Alcohol was my way to cope.
Yeah.
Courage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. And my mom was just found it one time and I was just like, oh, I brought it home from a party. I brought it home for someone. I was going to throw it away. There's no accountability. I didn't care. All I cared about was like feeling something outside of myself and feeling like I had some type of control over happiness, like some type of happiness. Because I was still a little girl. You know, I was still just like a lost little girl.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. The world was so scary. And the world was a scary place all the way up until about 6 years ago for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Until I really started doing the work. So high school, not even high school for me, you know.
Did you graduate?
Nope. I did not graduate. I decided that I wanted to smoke weed all day and drink. And that was all I did. And I dropped out. I remember the day I dropped out, went into the principal's office. My mom was there and I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And that was my attitude. And my mom could not stop me. And my dad could not stop me.
My mother would have beat my ass right then and there. I'm just telling you. First of all, for talking back. But yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. I think I was so far gone at that point, just from using alcohol and weed, that my mom didn't know what to do. I remember one time my mom took me to the hospital and she's like, do something with my daughter. She's out of control. And I was screaming and yelling. I think I was like 16 then. Like, there was no stopping. I had to have some type of control over myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know any other way.
What a sad place to be in so young.
Oh, yeah. I was miserable. I was so sad.
Yeah.
I just wanted, also, I was looking for love too, because my biological dad was never in the picture. He was never around, never met him. I believe that he was married at the time that he got my mom pregnant and just completely dismissed her.
My parents divorced at 9 months.
Yeah.
I understand. Like,
yeah.
I went to live with a nanny from 6 months to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. From both parents. Like,
really disrupts a childhood.
You don't know it. I don't think you know it when you're going through it.
No.
You know, but not having the regular family like other kids. Like, I never took my dad to Father's Day at school or any of those things. And it was like awkward.
Yeah. And you don't realize it at the time though, right? But you have that feeling inside your body that something's off, right? And now that I'm so connected to my body now, because I've done a lot of work back then, like if I would have known what those feelings inside were, I could have identified them.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was different.
But it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work like that. And there's I'm a firm believer that like I've been through all this hurt. I've been through all this pain, but there's a reason why, because I get to help someone with my story.
Well, and I think it makes us stronger.
Yes.
You know, they say what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And I think that is a good saying, and you have to hang on to it sometimes. I told Peter, like sports for me were my saving grace. Like, you know, that was how I fit in. It didn't take two parents being there. You know, I think that was my saving grace. And I got along with everyone, the stoners, the popular people, the weirdos, the smart people. Like, it didn't matter. I got along with you. But I think that's what saved me in high school was just being active, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't have sex in high school. Pretty good for an escort service owner. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was scared to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really scared.
Yeah, that wasn't the case for me.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find something.
Just wanted to be loved.
Yeah, just wanted to be loved. Yeah, the broken girl inside me just wanted to find something, but I didn't know what I was looking for.
Right.
Yeah. So after I decided that I was going to, live my best life and drop out of high school, and I went to go stay with my childhood best friend. We're still friends. She just moved out of state though really sad. We've known each other since like 5th grade. Yeah. And I think she moved to Louisiana or somewhere. I don't remember.
Somewhere
but
over there.
Very far
away.
Hopefully she's eating beignets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to go stay with her and I was 18, right? And
you could do what you wanted.
I could do whatever I wanted. I could be an adult, be responsible, and not have to deal with my parents who were just, looking back now, I'm like, wow. They were just trying to help me the best way that they could. The best way that they could. But I was not accepting of that. There was no way. So I went to go stay with her, and, you know, it was like an apartment, and all we did was party. You know, we drank, we smoked weed. I snorted what are those little caffeine pills?
Black Beauties or those ones?
Yes.
Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets. Oh my gosh. Somebody that lived there was like, you want to? I was like, yeah, why not? And so that just escalated to the next level of, oh, I want to try something else. So I started using cocaine, you know, and the first time I was like, I needed more. It was not enough.
That's the thing.
I mean, that's cocaine though.
That's the thing about cocaine. So I did cocaine for a very short time. Yeah. And the amount of money it took to stay high pissed me off. And I was jittery and I didn't like the jittery. So meth made way more sense to me because I could get high off of $20 and stay high for 2 days and didn't have to keep doing it to stay high.
Back in the day when the meth was good.
Yeah. I'm luckily, I haven't got high since fentanyl's been around.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, I started using cocaine and drinking and started using ecstasy and mushrooms. And
ecstasy was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
MDMA.
Yep. I was putting anything and everything in my body that I could.
Right.
That I possibly could to be accepted by my peers around me.
Yes. And because to feel, for me, it was to fit in.
Yep.
I felt like I fit in when I was drinking.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I liked who I was.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
Well, and I think at first it works.
Yeah.
You know, at first it can be a good time, you know, at first until it's not.
Yeah. When in high school through college, it's very acceptable. You know, everybody's doing it. Everybody's partying, but then you're supposed to grow out of it. And Peter just never quite grew out of it.
Yeah. See, there's a difference between, you know, experimental and then
functional
or functional to the point of I can't live without it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stayed with my best friend. We partied it up for a couple months, and then she moved into her own apartment. And we were at a party one night, and there was people doing lines. What we thought was coke. It ended up being meth. We did the same amount we would have done of coke, but
Holy
meth.
Shit.
And I was like, wow, that kept me up for days.
Like I said.
Yeah. I was 19 and then quickly strung out on meth at 19.
Wow.
So same thing. Yeah. I did MDA and it worked. Like I just do it on the weekends and dance all night with the gay men. And I was living my best life.
Yeah.
And the MDA dealer got busted, which really was bad for me. And I thought meth would be the same as the MDA. Yeah. And so I did the meth. I snorted it too. And I was like, whoa, because it kept me up all weekend. And I started losing weight.
Yes.
So that for me was an attraction within itself, right? People are telling me I look good, you know, and it's the only 3 times I've been thin are not good stories, you know, but the meth, it was instant. I went from not doing drugs, you know, just partying on the weekends and smoking some weed to that quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then that was all I cared about. That was all I cared about. Forget the weed, forget the alcohol, forget and everything. I only wanted a bag. And I would do anything for a bag. And so I met this guy who, you know, my knight in shining armor. He was 21, so he could buy the alcohol, and he used meth. Sound like a good idea?
Everything you needed.
Yeah. I had everything I needed, you know, someone to love me and someone to buy me my alcohol and someone to give me meth. And I mean, it was very abusive. I remember I'd been up for days at a time. I was about 20 now. No. So I was 19. So I started using meth at 17. Used for a couple of years and then met this guy. And I remember we'd been up for a couple of days and I was just feeling really like nauseous and like fatigued and not normally how I would be feeling coming down, you know? And we were at a trap house and my gosh, I don't feel good. He's like, yeah, you're probably pregnant. And I was like, no, there's no way. He's like, yeah, you're probably pregnant. So I took a pregnancy test and I was pregnant. Wow. Yeah. And I was like, not only am I 19, I don't know who Amber is. I'm stuck in this really abusive relationship. I've pushed my whole family away, everyone. And I don't even know how to take care of me.
Right. Let alone a child.
And now I have a human being inside of me. So I called up my mom and what happened was me and him went to my house to announce this because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go announce this to my parents because he thought my parents were the worst thing ever because they were trying to get us to break up. And, you know, he's like, we're going to show them that we're going to have a happy family. And so we went and announced it. We're like, we're pregnant. And my mom's like, and my mom and dad are like,
holy shit.
Like, what the hell? And him and my mom got into a argument and he like forced me to leave with him very aggressively. And it was just a very, very scary time. Once again, scary world I lived in. Very scary world I lived in.
Yeah.
And we drove down to the beach because that's where he was from. And he's like, I'm going to take care of you out here. And you can't smoke meth anymore. And so I stopped smoking and it was in Rockaway. So Rockaway is a very, very,
oh yeah.
Yeah. That's where his mom lived. And it's a very like small beach town. Mm-hmm. And it was a very rundown apartment that we got. And I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor while he was in the other room smoking meth. And all we had to eat was eggs and bread. Oh. And he told me that I had to go find work. And so I was walking up and down the street. I don't know what highway runs through there.
Highway 101.
Yes, Highway 101. I was walking up and down and I walked into this hotel and just terrified, you know, he's been up for days and I'm pregnant. And I walked to the front desk. I'm like, are you hiring? And she's like, do you have any experience? I was like, no. And she gave me a job. So I started cleaning motel rooms.
Oh, wow.
And he showed up to the motel like a few maybe like I was working there probably for like a week, and he showed up and he accused me of seeing someone else because he'd been up, like he has not slept. And I'm just out cleaning hotel rooms and like trying to survive on the coast with no family around or no phone and anything.
How scary.
And this was 20 years ago, you know? And so were cell phones even a thing back then? They were. 20 years ago? Yeah, they were.
I think they were flip, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't like free minutes and texting like we do now, right? And locations and stuff like that. And so he accused me. He was like spying on me from outside the office. He came into the hotel and started freaking out. And then I like left with him. And the lady at the hotel was so worried about me because he pulled me out of work, and we went back to the room, and he was like accusing me of sleeping with someone else. I'm like, I'm literally just like working, and I'm crying, I'm bawling, and I'm just like so lost. And I end up like getting a phone that I can call my mom on. I don't know where I got a phone. I can't remember, but she comes down to Rockaway from Portland and puts me in a DV shelter to get away from him. And what do? A few days into it, he comes to pick me up, you know, and I get in a car and everyone's smoking meth.
Oh boy.
And I'm just sitting there. And so we go to this trap house, and I'm in the room, and I'm just like, I decided to leave. I don't know why, but I decided to leave. I called my mom, and she came and got me.
God bless your mom.
I know.
My mom and your mom are a little different because my mom told me, you got yourself into this mess. You can get yourself out.
Yeah, she did not. She said that to me later on, but not in the beginning. So I ended up staying away from him and for a little bit. And on August 13th, 2004, I gave birth to my daughter, Kendra, who is now 21.
Wow.
And lives with me and Bo.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I had this beautiful baby girl that I didn't know how to take care of. I lived with my mom. And baby dad was in and out of jail and out of prison. There was no contact order between us because of the abuse against me. And DHS had an open case because we kept in communication. And after I had my daughter, I quickly returned to drinking and seeking out meth while living with my mom. And also after I had my daughter, they sent me home with a prescription of narcotics, because that's what they did, 20 years ago. They don't do that now unless you ask for it.
I had a C-section.
Yeah, I had a vaginal birth, and they sent me home with Vicodin. That was the first time I had ever tried opiates. And I fell in love right after having my daughter. So living with my mom with a baby.
You just found out you liked opioids.
Yeah. So I kept on refilling my prescription. Didn't know what they were. Had no clue what I was taking. All I knew is that it made me calm and happy. Even though I had this beautiful baby girl, I was still living outside myself because I hadn't found myself. And so my mom helped me with long nights. My mom helped me learn how to be a mom. And it was a long time back and forth with the baby dad. A long time. And he was in and out of jail. In a way, I was repeating my life early on to my daughter.
In the domestic violence cycle.
Yep.
You don't know it when you're in it.
No, you don't know until you start doing the work. You don't know it until you start healing. And
I think when we're younger too, and I don't know if this is the case for you, Peter, but for me, I confused great sex with love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I confuse sex with love.
Yeah.
Period. It wasn't even great.
Yeah. Well, it was just sex. I actually rated it. Okay. But I'm just saying, thinking like this is the best relationship I've ever been in because it's the best sex. Mm-hmm. And it's not. It's just the one you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can relate to that for sure. Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to navigate this scary world and navigate being a mom. And I got this amazing job at Care Oregon.
Love Care Oregon.
Yes. I don't know if we need to edit that out or anything. I don't know how this works, but
I don't think so because you're saying good stuff.
Yeah. It's an amazing job at Care Oregon. But like 20 years ago when the Medicare contracts just came out, right? And I was able to land a job. And 20 years ago, this was making really good money, right? Helping develop the Medicare program at Care Oregon.
Okay.
Wow.
And it was great. I loved it so much. But weekend warrior mom was smoking meth on the weekends. And my new boyfriend was also living with me and my daughter, taking pills and smoking meth on the weekends. So we all know where that leads. I was smoking meth.
It leads to weekdays.
It leads to weekdays, and it leads to use at the office, and it leads to a very unhealthy. I mean, my daughter saw a lot. My daughter witnessed mom high all the time. My daughter witnessed me being gone for days at a time. Very, very hard times. Very, very traumatizing times for my daughter. By the time she was 5, I was fully hooked on heroin and meth and still working at Care Oregon. And we were back in, 20 years ago, we were growing marijuana, because that was a thing. So
now you can just buy it.
Yeah.
Like lifesavers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So living just a completely double life. My family didn't know. I was still going to work and leaving on the weekends, leaving for days at a time. And then a knock came on my door one day and it was DHS. And they removed my daughter from my home. She was 6 years old.
I just want to say, I know this is hard and you're so courageous. Seriously, reliving the bad stuff is not fun. And saying it out loud is not fun. And I know, I went to a prison and luckily my mom had my kid, is one of the biggest blessings. And I always say it made up for all the bullshit she did. It was the one thing that gave her good grace.
Yeah.
But I hear you. Yeah. Just know as a mom, I hear you.
Yeah. I didn't really know how deep it was going to get today, but here we are. We're in the depths of the addiction.
Yeah.
We're in the depths of.
Well, and you're being authentic.
Yeah.
Being authentic is not easy. Getting to the good part and, is awesome. But people, this is going to help somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's out there that's been through the same thing as you. And we've had, a woman on the podcast that didn't want her child. She just wanted to go get high. And, luckily it changed for her going into a program, but it is not easy to get high and take care of a child.
No, especially when it's the only priority that you have. Right. So, well, let me back up. The day before I got the knock, I got let go from my job from Care Oregon.
So it was all crashing.
Knock came, opened the door. They removed Kendra and she went to my mom's. At the time, my boyfriend, same one.
I hope I get to meet your mom someday. Seriously.
Yeah.
I really do.
She's local. She comes to my house every Monday to watch Jaden, my son.
I love your mom, just like Elton Fries.
Yeah.
I love her mom.
Yeah.
And I got to meet her mom at a 4D function.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love your mom.
I think that she might be at the walk.
Well, I just want you to know I want to meet her because her taking your child is the greatest gift I think she could have ever given you, you know, like, period. I just, from being in that position, you know, I was so mad at my mom, but so grateful that she took my daughter. My daughter didn't have to go into foster care.
Right.
My daughter didn't have to experience a lot of things kids do when their mom's an addict.
Yeah.
Because of my mom.
Yeah.
And I need to remember that the next time I'm bitching about her.
Oh, yes. Yes. My mom and my sister. You know, my sister was 16 when Kendra came to live with them, 16 or 17. And I remember that day very clear. There's, you know, little bits and pieces of my addiction that I remember and don't remember, of course, because that's how it works. But I remember after they came and got her and took her, I grabbed a bag of like my stuff. I stole some doses from my boyfriend because he was going to methadone clinic, and I left. I had just cashed out my 401k for my job.
Wow.
And I went to, you know, Rockwood, the Motel 6 there.
Girl.
Yeah. I went and rented a room for a week and had the biggest dope party ever.
I want you to know, in the escort service, I would not have gone to that hotel.
Okay.
Because that means you didn't have enough money for me.
Yep.
Straight up.
Oh, yeah. It was the cheapest one I could get.
That's like I said.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone there. If you called me for there, I would have been like, nah.
Cheapest one I could get.
Yeah. That or the Unicorn Hotel.
Oh, yeah. I stayed there too.
Like, just saying, never would go there.
Yeah. I stayed there too. That was, you know, highlight of my, you know, from sleeping outside to going inside. I was like, yeah, this is great. And then my theft started. So I had to start supporting my habit because I no longer had a job. And now the house I was living in, I didn't pay rent. I just left all my belongings, everything, my daughter's stuff, my stuff, a house full of stuff.
Wow.
I just left it. It was no longer a part.
I understand that. I walked away from an apartment.
Yeah.
And
full of stuff too.
Well, the only pictures I had of my dad were in that apartment, and I never got them back.
My daughter's baby book.
Yeah. And it was like later on when you're sober, it's devastating. At the time, I didn't think twice about it. I packed a bag as well.
It's so heavy. It's so heavy to unpack, literally, as you work a program of recovery. At the time, it doesn't matter.
I didn't think twice about it.
No, me either. It didn't matter to me. All I cared about was getting loaded.
Same.
But it's so heavy. That's something me and my daughter work through all the time. It's just everything that was left, you know. I started going to jail. You know, it was normal for me to make a tri-county loop from Washington County, Multnomah County, and end up in Clackamas County.
Girl, Washington County, no.
No, that's the worst. They have the worst food.
That's what I'm saying. Washington County, no.
I would much rather be in Clackamas County eating their food. It was smaller portions, but the food was so much better.
Inverness, basketball court.
Yeah. And TVs.
Yes, and open dorm.
Yes. But I'm a food girly, so all I cared about was the food.
Not me. I just cared about the snacks.
Yes.
Like, for real, because the food was gross. So it was all about the snacks. And I think in the Justice Center, for real, all I would eat is the roll, the fruit, because they couldn't fuck up the fruit, right? And the milk, because it came in a carton.
It smelled weird, though.
I don't know, but there was just a few things. And I seriously lived off of commissary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not have that luxury.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, no. My mom would not put money on my books. This is where it switched for her. But
my mom didn't put money on my books, but I had a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I did not. This is where my mom did a lot until she had to make that hard decision for tough love because she couldn't do it anymore.
My mom made that decision as well.
So here I was, just like wandering around the streets of 82nd and, just doing petty thefts and staying wherever I could just to get a 10 sack of some heroin just to get well a little bit, and always ended up in Clackamas County every single time.
I've never been to Clackamas.
Yeah, well,
I'm not trying to go there. I just want you to know.
I mean, we can go.
No, yeah, we can go to bring a meeting maybe, but yeah.
So it really just became like I started building these relationships in Clackamas County with like the deputies. And then I got sent to Clackamas Substance Abuse Program. Wait, do you know anything about that? It's called CSAP. And it's a fully funded by the county inpatient treatment that is intense.
I love that.
9 months inpatient, 9 months.
I love that.
And then you're required to live in sober living, Oxford.
I love
Oxford
that.
House. Yeah.
Love Oxford.
I believe the longer, the better. This 30-day shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just get well and you go back out.
Yeah. Well, especially with the fentanyl too. It's just not enough.
Yeah.
So I completed the program and would be very surfacey and then go back out. And so here I am now, like I started going in and out of CSAP when in 2014-ish, 2012 was my first time in CSAP. And they allowed me to go back 3 different times because it took me full amount of inpatient 9 months to go back out to using because I wasn't doing the work.
You weren't ready.
I wasn't ready.
You needed to be some more research.
I had to do more research on 82nd and more research by getting more loaded.
An 82nd is a hard life. When I got off parole, I wasn't allowed. This cracked me up. I wasn't allowed to go to 82nd or Sandy Boulevard. Right? They were part of my parole and high vice areas. And I was like, I never was on 82nd or Sandy Boulevard. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I had to give a polygraph test because there are crimes you commit that the police know about. Then there are crimes that you can commit that they'll never know about. Yeah. And because they also had access to my bank account because I got arrested with so much money. But I know from having friends that 82nd is just a scary world. I mean, we just had 6 murders there. Yeah. Yeah. It just survival, just doing drugs, surviving.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always would end up around the area because I would go get my dope from down by the Clackamas Town Center, or I would just be wandering. Yeah. I would get rearrested, go back to Clackamas County Jail.
Why Clackamas? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Because I would always be in
Clackamas. Because the dope man was by Clackamas. Yes. There you go.
I would always be around Clackamas. Sometimes I would get arrested in Multnomah County, Mine
was
here and
always
there.
the Justice Center to Inverness.
Yeah. But then, after a few stays in, CSAP and completing the program, I ended up in Vancouver with, I was with this guy and he was selling dope and he would drive me around to go steal stuff because he was involved in like back in the day when gift cards were around and all that stuff. And you would go return stuff. So I was the returner. It was probably one of the most scariest times of my life because he was physically abusive to me and would knock me out, and I would wake up and run from his house after he would beat me up.
Wow.
And someone actually found me on the side of the road one time because I had jumped out of the car that he was driving with me in it. And
please tell me this motherfucker is dead or in jail.
So listen, he went to prison for about 7 years. And then about 3 years ago, I get a message from him on Facebook. I don't even read it. I actually tell Bo, and Bo's just like furious because I'm just like, I can't I can't. Like, that's insane that you're even reaching out to me. I mean, I could have died when I was with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I blocked that out for so long up until a few years ago. It's crazy what our minds can do.
Girl.
Yeah.
I blocked out everything until 24 years sober, 25.
Oh, wow.
I think God gives you what you can handle when you can handle it. And I wasn't ready. It took until I was 56 to admit that I was molested from 5 to 11. And I don't cry about it anymore. I went to IOP 25 years sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only motherfucker in IOP that's been sober, right? But, and then I went back. I went first time because the doctor made me go for stress management. And the second time I chose to go for mental health because it was just overwhelming. And the second time really was great for me.
Yeah.
And I just went to meetings in between. Like every day I went to meetings, 25 years sober.
Yeah.
You get what, like I said.
Yeah. God knows what you can handle.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, the first 4 years, it was just enough for me to be sober. It was just enough for me to go to a job and do the right fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you have to learn when you don't know.
Yeah. And when the time's right. Yeah. So ended up in Clackamas County Jail again. They gave me CSAP again, which I was so incredibly grateful for. And then I went back out and I relapsed. This was in 2017.
I was never fucking offered the option of going to treatment. Like I was in treatment and my lawyer told me you're going to prison no matter what. So if you want to pack your stuff up, go ahead. And she put me there hoping that it would avoid me going to prison.
Yeah.
And she said, you're going no matter what. I just got your pre-sentencing investigation where it says that I was not I can't say that word.
Rehabilitatable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what they said. Yeah.
A big fuck you. Yes. When I ended up going back to CSAP, I knew that there was something different about this time, even though I ended up relapsing again. If that wouldn't have happened, and we were talking about this earlier, everything happens for a reason.
I relapsed one time too. One time.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to the parole officer and I told her, put me in fucking jail. I don't want to be high. And she's like, you're one of my most successful clients. How about 2 weeks in the restitution center and treatment again? I said, deal.
You're like, okay, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I don't want to go back to prison. But, you know, I found so much peace and so much of my life when I surrendered.
That's what Lance just said.
Yeah. God works in mysterious ways.
Nothing happens by accident.
And I am not saying to go relapse to find your true love. This is not what I am saying. But like, if I did not go back out, I would not have found my person.
No, I understand completely.
And that's wild to say. It really is.
Or maybe if you didn't go back out, your person wouldn't have found you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you could look at it every which way, you know?
So you went back out and then what happened?
I was working at the time and living with one of my friends from treatment. And
you know, you're not supposed to do that, right?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know. And there's one day I was working at a sausage factory. Yes. I was working at, you know, the place on Powell, Edelweiss, the German deli?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yes.
one on 13th and Powell.
Yes. Such good sausage. Such good food there. And I was just like, oh, I wasn't working program. I wasn't like doing anything for myself other than slanging sausage.
No, it's crazy, Amber. So Sprint used to be right across the street from there.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know it's on 13th and Powell.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed at Sprint for 20 years, but that's the building I started at.
That's so crazy.
It is. That's the only reason I know about the sausage factory. We used to go there for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Sausage factory, the Chinese like barbecue place right on, and then Subway.
Yeah.
Right past the.
Yep.
Look, I know, girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can make it all there and back in your lunch.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You can do a lot there.
That's so funny.
And so I hit up one of my friends from treatment because I knew that she was using. And I was like, hey, I need something tonight. I just need a 20. She's like, but you're doing so good. I'm like, no, it's just going to be one time. Just going to be one time.
Yeah.
So I went and met her, did it. And then I think it was a few days later that I was like, I just need one more time. And so I hit her up again. I was like, I just need another bag. And she's like, well, the place I'm staying at, let me see if he has anything. And then she sent me over there and I was like, yes, I got to connect. Yes, now I know where to go. Right. And so it was all over. Like after that, it was just like, that's it. And so I went, it was in the evening time and I knocked on the door and this guy with green eyes and really cute smile. And
I think I know who you're talking about.
He opens the door and I'm just like, oh, damn, who's this? And come to find out it was the dealer's sidekick.
Is the dealer anybody we know? I'm just saying,
no.
You never know.
No.
Yeah.
So it was Bo.
So that's how you met Bo.
Well, actually, how we first met, I was actually dating one of his friends when I was 16. And where did you live?
Terrace, which is right off of McLaughlin.
Okay.
By the Acropolis.
Yeah. And so I was,
apartments.
Yeah.
Love the Acropolis.
Yes. So I actually met him when I was 15. I didn't know it yet, but I remember being with my boyfriend at the time who's like introduced me to his friend and he had a big old afro. And
no.
Yes. And it was Bo. It was Bo when I was 16 and he was 16.
And you had an afro, bro?
Big.
Wow.
And he'd have it picking it and he'd always be picking it.
Oh my God, not that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was that guy.
So this seems like a good point because as you might have alluded to, we have Bo here in the house and we're going to do 2-part episode. So we're going to be back with Amber and Bo and that'll be next week. Yeah. So thanks for listening.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site, so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.